Radio.
And we're going to kick it off with an article of over 7,000 players successfully converged in Yuga Labs' Other Side Metaverse second trip. Thousands of NFT holders joined the gamified experience last weekend, showing the glimpses of what's to come to the virtual world, launching later in the year. So Yuga Labs completed a successful second trip, providing members of the community with a preview of what's to come. According to Yuga Labs, 7,200 players attended a 90-minute trial run. Holders of the Other Deed NFTs, a collection linked to the land and Other Side Metaverse, were invited to join the experience along with each guest. CoinDesk attended the closed event as a guest and was able to interact with other Voiders, participate in an action-packed storyline. So you're continuing to see these games be built out. Other Deed was a really big land drop that happened earlier, and they're really building out a game to get people excited to go and play. Yuga Labs is really trying to pave a way and to create an entire NFT ecosystem that then translates into both gaming, metaverse, and utility for seeing your ape come to life and be able to do things with it. And I think it's really cool to see them putting so much energy towards making this become more of a reality. And again, I think they're paving a way for other types of larger players in the space to do the same and create some really cool ecosystems for their NFT holders to go and participate in. Next, we're going to look at Disney as it unfortunately had to lay off Metaverse team. So 50 people lost their jobs in Disney as Disney disbanded its next generation storytelling and consumer experiences unit as part of a company-wide staff reduction. It was in the process of laying 7,000 staff in an attempt to control costs and develop what CEO Bob Iger calls the streamlined business. And included in those cuts were the Metaverse team. They began developing a Metaverse strategy in mid-2022, announcing Polygon had been picked as Disney's blockchain of choice. Disney appeared to ramp up its resource development for the effort in September of that year, job posting for specialized in-house counsel for NFTs and decentralized finance. It's unfortunate to see that Disney have to do this. I think what they're probably going to do instead is wait for some other company to go and build it, then acquire them, take their team, and further build out what they got started on. So again, as larger corporations potentially streamline, that gives opportunities for companies who are in the Web3 space building to keep building, make something really amazing. And once market conditions change and large corporations like Disney start looking for potential acquisitions, this could be a really cool place to be building and a target for Disney to come and acquire you. So unfortunate for those layoffs, but I think there's going to be some really cool acquisitions in the future from Disney as it relates to this division. Next, we're looking at former Activision Blizzard executive that joined Yuga Labs as the CEO. Daniel Algray on board. Yuga Labs is expected to ramp up its metaverse efforts. He held the leadership positions at Google, Activision Blizzard, and Bertelsmann. So this executive resigned as president and chief operating officer in the gaming giant Activision Blizzard to join the NFT startup on April 1st. Announced that he couldn't be more excited for the next chapter. And he was part of Activision Blizzard's growth, overseeing popular games such as Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Diablo, and Candy Crush. So tons of experience, knows what he's doing. Again, we covered at the top of the conversation how Yuga Labs just had a really good other side metaverse experience, and he's coming to help make that even more of a reality. So I think that's going to continue. I think it's a great win for Yuga Labs. I think it's a great hire, and I think the games that are going to come from Yuga Labs are going to be very, very enjoyable. Next, we're looking at Square Enix as it drops its Final Fantasy NFT trading cards. Now, again, I know that I have expressed this in the past, but I am a pretty big fan of Square Enix. And Final Fantasy is one of the largest types of franchises out there in the gaming community. And what better way to try to get into the space than creating some trading cards that diehard fans can go and start to utilize. I think there's probably going to be a bigger play that can incorporate those into future games. That is to be determined. I know we've covered in the past how Sony is starting to invest more and more in the Web3 space and in that gaming division over there. Square Enix builds on top of Sony. So I think this is teeing up some really cool things in what is to come. So I have my eyes on this one, and I think it's really cool to see them building some trading cards. So next up, we're going to look at Argentine airline Fonbani that they launched a domestic NFT flight for their NFT tickets. So for all those out there, if you are looking to fly out in Argentina, all of their domestic flights are going to be NFT tickets. So we're starting to see both companies and some of these different ways that airlines can differentiate themselves, try to have some more traction through new user acquisitions, is tapping into the Web3 pulse and creating NFTs. So they're going after this. I think it's really cool. We'll see how this case study goes, but I'm sure there will be some cool things coming from that. I know that if some of my plane tickets could be turned into NFTs, I think that'd be a really cool way to have them stored in the wallet. Even with my own Apple Wallet, when I go back and look at some old things that are in there, they're not necessarily as fun to look at, but if they were an NFT or even something I could use as like a collection that could help me have some really cool unlockable tools or perks for a type of corporation, I think that'd be pretty sick. So we'll see how this turns out, but I think that's a really cool one to be looking out for. Next, we're looking at Blur. As the Blur token plummeted over 20% in March, despite Blur's dominance in NFT sales market. So the NFT marketplace captured a majority of NFT sales in the month of March, or the month of February and March. However, it had a sharp decline towards the end of the month. So Blur's market share in terms of volume over the past week or so was roughly 71%. Blur accounted for 42% of trades, while NFT Marketplace OpenSea accounted for 48.3%. OpenSea outplaced Blur with over 89,000 traders compared to Blur's 39,000. So although the marketplaces have been competitive, Blur's native token Blur suffered past month compared to most crypto assets. And this probably has to do with how they did their airdrops and incentivizing people to come take a lot of their NFTs and bring it over to the Blur ecosystem. So again, people are going to game the system. It helps really drive a ton of new users over to the platform, but the retention is going to be the hardest part. And I think Blur is starting to see that. And I think the lesson could be continued to be learned in the coming weeks and months. So again, this is another one I'm personally watching, because if Blur is not able to kind of maintain and show that it can be a competitor to OpenSea, then it's going to be even harder for some of these other future NFT marketplaces to come and try to compete as well, especially using the type of marketing tactic that Blur did via their airdrop. Our final article is going to look at Solana NFT. Trading volume declining following the Utes migration to Polygon. So Solana experienced a major decline in NFT trading volumes following the massive migration of Utes NFT collection over. The process began earlier in the week and has seen more than 70% of NFT holders move to Polygon, the largest migration between two blockchains. So D Labs Studios, company behind Utes and the Gods, Solana's flagship NFT collections, announced its intention to migrate to Polygon and Ethereum, respectively. As that happened, again, you saw 70% of its holder go ahead and do that migration. Solana NFT, that is a pretty big hit. I still think there can be some really cool products to emerge and continue to be built over on the Solana ecosystem. I will say that Polygon is really starting to make a lot of headway. A lot of artists are starting to go in that direction for affordability, for ease of use, and a ton of other reasons. So I would monitor Solana's NFT marketplace and what newer projects are being launched there. And again, you're really starting to see both corporations and large Web3 presences move over to the Polygon Ethereum ecosystem. So I think it's a trend that will continue, and I'd be on the lookout for Solana. So that's going to wrap up this week's Aftershock. Hope you enjoyed all of the articles. If you liked one in particular, make sure you go leave a comment for us. And if there's something that I missed, please let us know that as well. We want to make sure that we cover all the latest and greatest news. And if there's something that you would like to hear in the future, make sure you reach out to us. But as always, we hope you enjoyed today's content, and make sure you stay cryptocurrent.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Cryptocurrent. Cryptocurrent is a cryptocurrency and blockchain education platform that's bridging the gap between the curious newcomers who are just discovering the space and the thought leaders who are shaping its future. All opinions expressed by Richard Carthon, the Cryptocurrent team, and their guests on this show are exclusively their own opinions. This show and any other Cryptocurrent production is exclusively for informational purposes.